titled Increase Your Skills to Increase Your Income. Now, what does that mean? So I'll give you an example. It's like most people, majority of people's income is limited by their skills. So if you're stuck at a certain income level, what you typically result to doing is like making excuses and blaming all of these external factors and not actually like looking inward to see what it is that you can do to fix your situation. And the best example I have of this is I'll just use myself. I have a million other like other people I could use. But my very first business that I started was a t-shirt business. I had this like t-shirt brand called iBang, and it had like many different meanings, but it was like a nice design. People liked the design of it, and I was basically a low skilled entrepreneur, extremely low skill, like the lowest. The only skill I had at the time was to uh, a research skill. Like I was able to research a vendor. I think it was called like Arizona T-shirt Printing Company, which took me a little while to find because um, not a lot of printing companies could do. I think I wanted foil. I wanted like the foil print or whatever. So not a lot of companies could do that. So I found them, and they were able to do like a 20 shirt minimum or something like that. So that was like that's the only skill I had to like research it, and I had I guess a skill to make money. Doing what I was doing at the time, which was like buying and reselling cell phones. So that was my skill to make money and retain a little bit of money to try to invest in the next thing or the side thing. But the more important skills was the ability to market and the ability to sell, which I lacked. But I didn't know that. I was under the impression at that time that, I don't know if you ever heard, it's like, if you build it, they'll come, which is like the worst mindset to have in business because that's not really a real thing unless you just like came up with some revolutionary product or service that everyone needs and is super affordable. Anyway, um, I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to sell. And what would happen was I would order these shirts, and even before I would order these shirts, a whole bunch of people like, oh yeah, I'll buy a shirt, I'll buy a shirt, I'll buy a shirt when they come, all this bullshit. Then when the shirts finally arrive, like literally only one person ever purchased the shirt. The others I just like gave away. Now they will wear them, but no one ever like actually like gave me money. Maybe like two people. These were like friends, but it's like friends and family, like pump fake and like I'm gonna buy one. And I would sit back and think, and that would like upset is not like the right word, but I would like I don't get it. Like these are like your friends and family. Like, why are they not supporting you? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. And what I learned was it was just a reflection that I was a bad entrepreneur. Like, and that's kind of where we're on the topic of the video about if you want to increase your income, increase your skill. If I wanted to sell out of those T-shirts, the skill that I needed to obtain was the skill of marketing and sales. Like that's it. Because at the end of the day, what I know now, this is about large numbers. So think about it. The average e-commerce, so like online website that's selling something, the average e-commerce site that actually has a product that someone wants converts at about 1 to 2 to 3%. So that means out of every 100 people, 1 to 3 people would buy. I had only made aware, like I made at the most. 20 people aware that I even had t-shirts. I didn't even know that many people. Now, based on that, if I told 20 people that I have t-shirts and one person buys, that's a 5% conversion rate, which isn't that bad. I expected everyone to buy. And that's just not realistic on no level, whether that is your friends or family. Most people are just not in the market for your shit. So the lesson that I learned was that, like, you need to learn how to market. And what happened was the next business, which was iGrow Salons, like the for real. It was basically like always a culmination of like failed businesses, and you take what you did not learn, or take what you learned, and you apply it to the next business. So actually, the correct order was the t-shirts. Then we started the first hair service business. Then we started the hair extension business, which was a combination of everything that we learned. We applied it to that. Then from there, iGrow Salons was launched, and like everything we learned from like the 3 or 4 businesses before, we applied it to iGrow Salons. And that's what I lacked at that time, skills in marketing. So I'm like, you know what? The next business that I start, I'm not telling anyone, like none of my family, because for one, they're not even in the niche. They're not even who I serve or service. Number two, not that they could even, I could even rely on them to do business with me, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted outsiders, people that did not know me, to support me first. That was a signal to me that I had actually went out and did work. Work meaning let mass people know that I exist. Not just trying to be, because that's lazy. That's the laziest form of business, where you start a business and you just expect the people around you to support. Because think about it. If your objective is to make, let's say, $1 million per year, and let's just say, for sake of argument, you know 200 people, it's highly unlikely, even if all 200 people buy your stuff, unless you're selling something for like tens of thousands of dollars and all of the 200 people you know are rich, it's highly unlikely that you're going to have $1 million business, because you don't have the numbers to back that up. And in reality, most of us, our circle, our surroundings, the majority of people are. So you can't rely on like this word of mouth thing to get you to where you're trying to get to. And I had many lessons even before the t-shirt business that I didn't really catch on to, because I used to do a lot of MLM and network marketing. And it took me maybe like 3 or 4 MLM, like me joining, to finally understand why that wasn't working. Because I didn't have the network. And the network that I did have, they were just like me. They were like poor, like trying to make it. So it's like, how are you trying to convince poor people who are just making it to join this, what it looks like a, get rich quick scheme? How you trying to convince them to join so you can, piggyback off of them, and they don't even have money? I've done like Cutco. There was this one called 5 Links. But this was like early, like 2000s ish. I've been doing MLM since like high school, so that's why when I see MLM, like, we've been there than that. Well, nothing is wrong with MLM if you have the network or if you have the ability to market, but they don't teach you that stuff. It's like, hey, go text, call 10 of your friends and family and see if they want to buy. So, the point of this video is, if you are capped out, so essentially with the t-shirts, capped out at a income. Like the amount of money that I made was a reflection of the value that I brought to the marketplace. The amount of money that I made was a reflection of my skill level. I think I made $25. So that was the marketplace telling me like that's what I'm worth. That's my value. $25. Because I can't market, I can't sell, and I don't provide any value to the marketplace. So even at right now, if you're at like making let's say $200 per day, it was at like $6,000 a month, and you're like, I've been stuck here for like the past 3 years, making $72,000 a month, which isn't that bad, but 72 in this climate, that's like, unless you live you're good with money and you live on low expenses, that's like poverty for the most part. Unless you're good at managing money and whatnot. But point is, if you've been stuck there for a while, you're like, man, I'm tired of this. Like, stuff's not shaking, clients not coming in, sales are not happening. It just means you need to step your skills up. That's it. It's something in your business right now that you're missing, that you can hit on, or it's a lever that you can pull that could double, triple, quadruple your income, but you just don't see it because honestly you probably never even looked. And it's easy to miss it when things go wrong in your business, and the first thing you do is start pointing the finger to external factors. Like I know stylists right now who could do the best hair in the world, and this just applies to anyone. But I always reference stylists because typically that's who I work with, so I have the most stories about stylists. But I know stylists right now that do the best hair in the world, but they don't have any clients. It's like one or two here or there, and they'll be like, oh man, it's the economy, people not spending money no more, like all of this dumb shit. Like, and over here on our end, like my daughter's mom, she doesn't do the absolute best hair in the world, but it's never a week that goes by where she don't have clients, because we understand differently. We have different skills. We have skills to get people into a chair, and we don't approach business being hopeful. Like, oh, let me cross my fingers and hope a client falls out of the sky, like just because. You can't have that mindset in business. Like you gotta go out there and make moves. But it starts with having skills. So all you have to do is assess yourself. Like, hey, like, what am I not that good at? Maybe it's marketing, maybe it's sales, maybe it's your services, maybe it's customer service, client retention, whatever the case may be. Like, figure out what it is that you're not so good at and just go get good at it. And I guarantee you're going to see some type of change in your business. Hopefully this helps somebody. I know kind of like went all over the place, but if you want to up your skills, up your income, just simply up your skills. Subscribe, like, comment, all of that stuff. Thanks for watching.